Okay, so writing the equation of a line is when you're given the line now and have to come up with the equation. What we've done is have the equation and graph the line. Now we're going to be given a line and have to come up with the equation. In test prep, we've done slope. We worked on slope. Slope is forgotten is what it is.
We didn't really go over it. Yeah, we did.
We had a whole 2-week unit over slope. Thank you, Ethan. Rise over run.
What's that?
Rise over run is slope. This equation you need written down. This is the slope-intercept form, or slope-intercept equation. This is the form that we're going to be putting our lines into. This is an equation where y and x are variables. M represents slope. B represents the y-intercept. Slope, rise over run. How do you determine if it's a positive slope? Oh my goodness, it's a good thing we don't have the test prep or the state test assessments this next week.
This way.
How do you determine if you have a positive slope?
It goes up.
Going uphill from left to right.
And then down.
So I was right.
Negative.
Good.
I was right.
Something like that, yeah.
It doesn't happen.
This part we didn't talk too much about. When I went over the test, one of the questions had something about x-intercept and y-intercept, and so I explained to the classes what those were, but we didn't go into those in great detail. But M represents slope, rise over run. B simply represents the y-intercept. And the y-intercept in layman's term is the spot where the line crosses the y-axis. The location where the line crosses the y-axis. Everybody have that? So slope. We should be comfortable with this. We need to locate we need to locate 2 points that this line goes through evenly. And I'm looking at this point as being one of those, and this one. Well, those 2 points, it goes through that intersection evenly. This is a little bit off. That one's close, but it's a little bit off. That one's pretty close, and that might have worked. That one's pretty close, but doesn't look exact, where these two are going through it exactly. So that's why I'm picking them. Then what did I draw? It's coming back to you. Slope triangle. So we drew a little triangle here. And then we determined the rise and the run from those lengths. The rise is the height. That would have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's a lot easier when there's numbers on it.
And here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the rise is 12 and the run is 7. So 12 over 7. And then is it going uphill or downhill from left to right? Uphill, that's a positive slope. So your slope for this line is 12 over 7.
So what if we would have done those on the ones that you might have, like, it would have been different?
Do you have to add the,
Yeah, it would be different.
you
Yeah.
have to add the
Morgan, what don't you get?
I don't get, like,
You don't get this?
No.
Morgan, do you understand I picked out 2 points that it goes through evenly?
Yeah.
Do you understand that the height is the difference height-wise between where these 2 points are?
What?
Isn't there a height difference? A distance difference in their heights, Morgan?
Yes.
Yes. And that's what the rise is. There was 12 units between them up and down. Not by way the crow flies, but just a vertical distance of 12. Then it has a horizontal distance of 7.
Okay, what's confusing me is what is M and what is B? What are those? M
We
is
haven't
like,
got to the B yet, so don't worry about
So
that.
M's like your answer.
M is slope. Yes, it's the result. This
And that's your
is
slope.
M. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll get to B in just a second.
So how do you know to put 12 over 7?
Rise over run.
Okay.
So the 12 is the measuring the height.
So what were you saying about it being like a positive one that goes up? What does that have to do with anything?
Yes. Positive is going up from left to right as you read left to right, it's going uphill, that's a positive slope. If it's going downhill, it's a negative slope.
So why
You'll
is
follow
that?
along. Yes.
If your 7 was 6, could you reduce that to 1?
Yes. If it was 6, you could reduce. Morgan, just follow along here, and if you have questions later, I'll get you.
Okay.
All right, the y-intercept. Here's the B. I don't have it labeled as B, but this is the B, which is the y-intercept. Is where the line crosses the y-axis. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at the ordered pair 0, 2. But the y-intercept is simply the coordinate of the y-point. The coordinate of the y-point at that location is 2. So B in this, for this line, the y-intercept would be 2.
So is there such thing as an x-intercept?
Yes, there could be. We don't use it on this, but there is an x-intercept because that's where it crosses the x-axis, and that would be somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 3/4, something like that.
Okay.
But we don't need that for this. We just need the y-intercept and slope. So we need to, on this, want to write the equation of this line. Fortunately for us, this is going through each of these points pretty much evenly.
Question?
Uh-huh.
Well, we got the slope, and we got the answer, and then we got that, the last answer. Do we
Uh-huh.
like times those together?
No, I'm not done. I'll go over that with you here. That's what we're doing now. We're going to bring it all together. Our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We need to find our m, our slope on this. So I'm going to pick 2 points that this goes through. It goes through this point, and it goes through this point. It actually goes through each one of these points, but those are the 2 I'm picking. Now I'm going to draw my slope triangle. My height difference, or the rise between those 2 points, is 3. So it's 3 over. And then my run, or my distance between those 2 points, is 3, which is 3 over 3, which is 1. And it's a positive because it's going uphill. It's positive 1. That takes care of the m. We're not finding x and y because those are variables. Remember, when we plug in for x, we find y when we put in our t-table thing. So what I have to this point is y equals, m is 1, so I'm going to replace my m with 1, x plus, now I need to find my b. Where does it cross the y-axis? Where y is 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's a positive 3. So b equals 3. And that finishes off the equation of my line.
So you can graph that?
So if we plug the values back in for x using our t-table,
Now it makes sense.
t-table, 0, 1, and 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So is 0, 3? Yes. 1, 4? Yes. 2, 5? Yes. So it's all come back circled.
So, that's how every problem is going to be?
Except you're going to go through it way faster than that.
Yeah, but like, what was the first 2 about?
That was showing slope, and the y-intercept.
So don't listen to me. Just talking to
Well,
myself.
everybody has to if you're talking out loud. All right, so on this one, let's find 2 points that it goes through nice and neat. Again, it looks, I'm going to pick these 2 points this time. It goes through that and that. Draw your slope triangle. Your height between those 2 points is 4. Your run is 4. So your slope is 1, 4 over 4. But there's something different about this one. Say it louder. It's a negative slope because it's going down, so that makes it -1. The sign just tells us which direction it's going. Okay, then the y-intercept, or the b. Oh, I haven't put it into the equation yet. I'm just finding the m itself and the b. Where does it cross the y-axis?
4. Oh no, I can't see.
4.
It's not 4, it's,
Negative.
here's 0, and so we're below that, so that's
Oh.
-4. Then we plug that in, y equals -1x minus 4. So I just made it -4 rather than adding -4.
So we just got here our answer.
This is the equation of the line that we would be looking for.
So in our problem, we have to circle that, and then
This is the answer. We just have to find these other things to get it to put into our
we
answer.
have to do a T-chart.
No, that was just checking that one to see and connect the 2 problems.
T-chart.
Not unless you're trying to find the line and want to graph the line, which you're not on these. You're doing that on different.
Okay, so if it asks you to find slope, then you find m, and if it asks you to find the y-intercept, you find b. But what's it going to be asking for when it lets you
Equation
find
of
that?
the line. Find the equation of the line. This is the equation of the line.
That's what it's called.
That's the, yep. Now we turn that around. We can also graph these now without a t-chart. If it's in this slope-intercept form, we can graph this equation line without having to plug values in. Where does it cross the y-axis, Kelsey? At 2. So we put a mark at 2. And Kelsey, you said it's easy, so what would my next step be then?
Take -3 on top and go to -3.
So go which way? Up?
Yeah.
Okay, so go up 3. 1, 2, 3.
Then you go. I know what I'm doing.
I know you do. What's the negative in front of the 3/5 mean? It's going down.
Yeah.
So your point either has to be up in this vicinity or down in this vicinity, right? To give us a negative look. So if I look at that and I realize that, then I know, okay, I need to go up 3, and then I have to go over 5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I want to do that third point, I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3 from that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I connect those, does that give me a negative slope then? Yep.
Question.
All right, Kelly.
You see that one, the lower one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you have to put that one?
You need to do 3 points. 3 points determines the line. If you do 3 points and it gives you a line, then you know you haven't messed up. If, let's say we just did the lower one, okay? And for whatever reason, I went dyslexic for a minute, and I went, okay, I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And I just, for some reason, got it turned around, made a silly mistake.
So-
Those don't give us a line, do they?
You gotta go up 3 and over 5?
Because that's the rise, that's the run. Rise over run. So graphing these is actually easier once you know that than before. But that would be too easy just if they gave it to you that rise over, or just gave a y equals mx plus b. We have to sometimes solve for y. Ah, have we solved for y before in this class?
No.
100 times. Thousands of times. Maybe that's a little much. We've had problems that say 3x plus 4z plus 3y equals 7. Solve for y. You just have to solve for y. That's why we did those problems, is so that we would know how to get these into the slope-intercept form. I'm going to subtract my x first. Subtract my x. So then I have negative 2y equals 4 minus x. But I don't want that x second because my slope-intercept form has the x as the first term, right? So I'm going to rearrange these. Negative 2y equals negative x plus 4. Just flip-flopping those, keeping the correct sign in front of them. Now I need to divide each side by negative 2. Looking familiar still? So y equals negative 1/2 x plus, oh, nope, positive 4 divided by a negative 2 is a negative 2. So I solved for y.
Couldn't that be 1? If it's 2 over 1.
It's not 2 over 1 though. Oh, this one? Yes, it could be. Yes. I need to start with my y-intercept. My y-intercept on this problem is? My y-intercept is negative 2. And I have a negative slope, so that means it's going downward in this direction, so my coordinates will be up there or down in that area. So I'm going to go rises 1, and the run is, so it has to be 1, and then it has to be 2 this direction. And then we could just go up 1 and over 2 from that one, that'd be fine, or you could take it down 1 over 2 from this. And there you go. Slap on the line. It takes a lot longer to explain it and get you guys comfortable with it than it is going to take for you to actually do them, because once you're comfortable, it'll be a piece of cake. Yes?
Can you explain the last thing you just did? How do you know which way to count over? Like for the 1 over 2, how do you know which way to count over?
That's the slope.
Yeah.
And we know slope is rise over run. So the top number has to be the up or down. Then the bottom number is the right or left, the run.
And
We
you count
use
that from your y-intercept?
That's our reference point. We know that's a fact because that is right there. We know it goes through that. It's a negative slope, so we know it's got to be in this direction. So I'm just going to count up 1 and go over that way 2, or down 1 and over 2 that way.
Okay.
Or, and it's not, you could even run and then run your 2 and down your 1. I mean, it's one way or the other. As long as you know the top one is the up or down, bottom is side to side.
You know what you should do?
No.
We should like pre-algebra board. If you want to like get extra credit, you can like take a couple of pages and like do their board work and get like a point extra credit each day.
You think?
That would be beast.
That'd be interesting. Okay, problem set 75. 1 through 30. Due next class period.
Do you want us to have a snow day tomorrow?
I would take it and run.
They should.
And then we might as well have Friday too.
So we're saying
If we're off tomorrow, we're off Friday. I'm calling it right now.
Okay, not
If we're off tomorrow, though, we'll be out of
We
school
have to be off
on
tomorrow.
Friday too.
So what's supposed to plan on Friday?
Wouldn't that be fun?
To your grandma's house. Then we would go to my party's still on.
Yeah, I know. That is true.
But oh, we're in 6th grade. We did that. Like we did in 6th grade. We played. You helped us.